Good morning. I'm starting just a little bit late. Hi, this is Aggie. I'm the paint party girl, Agnes Friedlander, and I'm just trying to get myself all ready to go here and paint with you this morning. How are you guys? Happy Friday. I'm just trying to get my, the settings on here so it won't go locking so quickly. There you go, I found it right away. Unbelievable. All right, so I have nobody here with me. Oh well, oh, somebody just popped on. Oh, I want to see if my comments, oh hi Kim. Good, I'm glad I have my comments on, so that's good. Yesterday I painted and I couldn't see anybody's comments, and that was not good. So we're gonna paint some sunflowers today. How's that? I got a canvas ready right here, kind of ready. It's a little bit wet. This is that chalk paint by Waverly that I love. Really nice stuff. I bought like 7 or 8 colors, and it's nice and matte. I don't know, I love painting on that. And I've got myself some models here. They're not live models, they're plastic, but that's okay, right? And yeah, so I asked you guys yesterday. I'm going to turn this so that you could see my painting, and hopefully my charging cord won't get in the way. How's that? Sorry for the crazy movement. How's that? Pretty good? Move this over. Sorry. Oh, motion sickness. Now I can't see the live video over here. Why? Huh. Well, I don't know. I can't see myself on my iPad right now. Oh well. So yes, one of you guys, I asked you guys, what would you like for me to paint today? And there were several ideas, but the one that jumped out at me was sunflowers. So yeah, in case you didn't know, I am promoting my upcoming video classes. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to paint through my online video classes, and I don't know exactly what that's going to look like or how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to be filming this summer and hopefully releasing some very, very soon. So I just figured out that video is such a great way to learn how to paint, because you can stop, pause, rewind, and all that good stuff, right? So I'm going to dry this a little bit, and then we're going to sketch on our design. So say hello, tell me what you're doing this weekend, if anything. Where are you from? How'd you hear about me? What would you like to paint? All right, so yeah, whenever you're drying, it's great to have a blow dryer nearby when you're painting with acrylic paint, because you can just hit it with the blow dryer and it speeds up the whole process for you. And you want to keep the blow dryer moving so that you don't burn the paint. And okay, that's it. I don't know why I said and. I'm a little bit frazzled today, so much going on. I wasn't totally ready for you guys, but so what? So I'm kind of doing this by the seat of my pants. So I just wanted to say, regarding this background, it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? I just grabbed a few colors. You could just put one color on there if you wanted to, but you always do want to start with what is called a ground. And you'll see why later on. I can leave some of this background showing or not, and it's going to actually help me out quite a bit. So I am just going to I have a piece of chalk here, and I have this sunflower over here to my left that I'm looking at. and I am just going to sketch it on. I don't really even know what my plan is, except maybe I want to leave some space at the top to put some words. So maybe I'll just have flowers down here. I just decided that just now. And I'm turning my sunflowers to get a more interesting angle. So a lot of times when you see a sunflower painting, people are looking straight into the sunflower. I think that's kind of boring. I want to have a dimensional look at least, I'm going to do 3. It's always good to be odd. So I'm going to do 3, and I'm just going to kind of plan out that they're coming from this corner here. I like to draw my stems first. And they're going to be boom, 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 just 3 right here, and then this portion will be left open for whatever I might decide to do later. So this one here is going to be like you are kind of looking straight in at this one. So the petals are going to be something like this. Don't worry too much about your sketch. And this one will be behind that one. So my center is going to be like an oblong, like an oval. Some of my petals are going to be coming out like this. And then there's another one over here, and I can almost see the bottom of the stamen, the bottom of it. And these are my petals. And then I see just the edge of the brown center. And these petals are going to look taller as they're going like that. Okay. So a little bit of perspective on that. So one that I'm looking straight at, when you're looking straight at, it would be round. And when you're looking from the side, it would be like an oval. And when you're looking from the extreme side, you would just see the top edge of it. Hopefully that makes sense. And I'm gonna start with the green stems. And I left where's my paint? I left my paint over on the table. I'll be right back. All right, so these are my paint colors I'm using today. And I'm gonna tell you what they are in just a second. I gotta grab a couple more brushes, a mama brush. So yeah, I'm doing these free demonstrations for you to get an idea of, my teaching style, and hopefully you will be inspired to want to paint more. So, okay, I've got burnt sienna. This is raw sienna. I know it looks like a really weird, ugly color, but it's a beautiful color, especially with sunflowers. With sunflowers, you want a lot of yellows. This is Blit-Krylic's brand of yellow. It's called Chrome Yellow. And you could just use like cadmium yellow, or if you're using the little bottles of paint from the Hobby Lobby or whatever, you could totally use these, these bottles that you get at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. This is cadmium yellow, right? Sometimes there's school bus yellow. That would work great for this. But then you're also going to want a cool yellow like this one. So you could tell that it's more to the green shade. It's not as orangey looking. So the only way to really tell is by having the two side by side to compare. And then I've got black, phthalo blue, which is the one, if you mix white in with it, it looks like a blue-green, like sky blue. And then this is naphtha red. So that's what I'm using. Who knows, I might want to get up and grab some more colors. The background, I didn't use these colors. I used the chalk paints. So, and then I've got myself a cup of water on the side here. And I'm just going to mix myself a green. And, you can buy greens, but I think you're better off mixing your own greens. And greens can be the most challenging for artists because there's just so many, and it's just hard to get the right green. I don't know why, but it is. It's challenging to mix greens. So I'm going to make it a warm green. I'm going to start with that raw sienna and add some blue to it. And that's a pretty nice shade. I forgot to get some white in here. I'm also going to put some white on my palette. No, I'm not seeing any comments. Darn it. I can see who's watching, but I can't see comments. Oh, okay. I saw my own comment. So you guys just aren't talking. Okay, fine. So I just added a little bit of white to that, and that made me see that this is way too cool of a green. So to warm it up, I'm going to add more of that yellow. You could even put brown in your green, believe it or not, and that makes it really warm. And I am just going to put in this stem really roughly. This is kind of a big brush I got, a big round brush. Just putting some hints of some leaves in here. I'm going to make a cooler green real quick. So this is just going to be a really fun, loose. Sometimes I'll tell myself that this is like I'm journaling today. You know, like this is just my private journal. Doesn't have to be perfect. These are just little bits of green. They're very loose. They don't really matter too much right now. Oh, hi. Janice and Sandra. Hi. Thanks for stopping by. We're just painting some sunflowers today. All right, so I've got my little hint of my stems in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's very, very loose. Wait, which way? All right. And I'm not even going to clean my brush. I'm going to get some brown. I want to do the center of the sunflowers now. Brown and black makes a nice dark brown. And I always put my dark in first. My darks go in first. I don't know. I think that's something that I learned in art school. Get those darks in there. It's easier to lay in your lights on top of the darks. And wherever there is light, there is dark. And vice versa. How's everybody doing today? What's going on? You got any great plans for the weekend? You know, it's June. I can't believe it. I have made this goal to try and go live every day for 30 days. I hope I can do it. We'll see. All right, so there's my centers. Again, this looks really crazy and goofy. Doesn't look like anything right now. That's all right. When you're painting, you gotta let yourself go through the ugly, awkward stage. I think new painters get really freaked out at how ugly paintings can look. And they might feel defeated before they even really get into it. So I'm gonna just get some of this paint out of my brush. And all right, so I can start working on the petals of the flowers, but the problem is my black, those centers are really, really wet. So if I go to paint near that and I hit the black by mistake, I'm gonna smear it all over, and I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna just hit it with the blow dryer real quick. So sorry about the noise. All right, so that's what that looks like now. Doesn't look like much. All right, so I really want these petals to pop off of there. And the problem with yellow is that it's very translucent, so you see right through it. And hi, Megan. So it's very see-through. So if I were to put that yellow on here right now, it's going to make a really ugly color. See that? It just doesn't work. So we have to paint white first. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to paint my white petals. Oops, got a dot right on there, but that's okay. So in case you guys missed it, if you're just tuning in, I have some models over here to my left, some plastic flowers. I'm going to tilt you a little bit so you can see them. See my little plastic flowers sitting there? Those are my models. Plastic flowers, that's okay. I mean, it's best to paint from life, but you know, this is what I had on hand. So I am just going to paint my petals on. And some of them, I'm going to start with this guy over here. I love doing the 3/4 view. So these ones on the far side are really going to look longer and taller. And I'm just going to do these like going all the way off like that. So it's not verbatim, but I am looking for the gesture of the petals. That's what you want to do. You want to get the gesture of them, not the exact. And what does that mean, the gesture? Well, I look at it, and then when I close my eyes, what do I remember? That's the essence or gesture of it, and that's good enough. Maybe one petal really is like that. Here's one that goes up into that area. And you know, these are supposed to be fun. So I'm not going to be picky about them. And I mean, I kind of like that gesture, the feel that I'm getting there with that. So I'm happy with that. All right, so then down here, same thing. This one, I'm going to see the ones on the far side are going to look like they're standing up and they're going to look taller. Some of these need to, you know, hide that stem. So I'm trying to think about all that stuff, right? And, you know, if you've never done sunflowers, the first time you do them, it's going to feel awkward. It just is. I took a class by Nancy Medina. I went down to Oklahoma a few years ago, took a class with her. I had never painted sunflowers before, so it just felt like, what am I doing, you know? So, you know, it's real easy for us to psych ourselves out. Sometimes I need to come up with something I'm telling myself. I'm telling myself today that this is like a journal page. This is like my private journal. Yes, I'm letting you guys see it, but this doesn't have to be, I have to like psych myself out. This does not have to be perfect. That's what I'm telling myself. This is just a fun little nothing. Now I'm doing the petals on this one. And right now they're not going to totally make sense. I'm running out of white paint. The looser you are with this, the better I think it's going to look. And again, I'm looking at my samples. I'm just trying to get the gesture, the general direction of what's going on here. There's a lot of petals here. So this, I think what really helps with this is the size of this round brush. If this were smaller, it wouldn't work as well. So the whole trick is really having the right size brush for your petals. Does that make sense? If it were a flat brush, I don't think I'd get that rounded edge of the petals as well. All right, so I am going to hit this with the blow dryer now. Sorry for the noise. Like I said before, you always want to keep the blow dryer moving. You don't want to hold it in one spot. It could bubble the paint. And sometimes paint might be dry before you even realize it. So you want to tilt it, look at the sheen. Sometimes you can touch it. Some colors look wet when they're actually dry. So got to like evaluate it every 2 or 3 seconds. So far, I'm kind of liking it. I like the feel of it. I'm not crazy about the color, but that's okay. All right, so I am going to work a little bit more. I'm going to do my second layer on my green foliage. And this time I'm going to make a prettier green. So I'm just going to use, I don't want to move this off too far. I'm going to try using more yellow now, right, with my blue. And this is a much brighter green. You know, and the way it looks on the palette, it's going to be completely different than the way it looks on here on my painting. So I don't know if it's the right color. So what do? I put a little bit on my painting to see if it is the right color. So I don't really like the grassy green. When I'm looking at my models over here, they are not that grassy green. So I'm putting a little bit of raw sienna in there. And maybe a little bit of white. White also dulls a color, so that it's not so pure and vibrant. So I'm putting a little bit of white in there. So some of these petals, some of these leaves underneath are going to be like the shape of the petals. You know, they have these cool little guys that kind of come up like that. So I'm going to put a couple of those in for fun, right? And I like what that lighter green is doing. That's helping it a lot. Maybe we'll go even lighter. And you know, I am just being very loose here. I'm not doing anything verbatim, you know, with what I see. It's just splashes of green here and there, because this is just loose and fun. I don't want to be a slave to reality. I do that all day. All right, I'm making a really cool green. I just added a bunch of blue to this brownish color that I had over there. And just put a few pops of a really bluish green in there. And then I'm going to use this same bluish green. I'm actually going to put just a little bit of it in the center of my sunflower. Just a hint of that in there. So, you know, I call that walking the color around, spreading the love around. why not? But what's really going to dominate is the yellow, when we get that yellow on there. So I'm trying to create opportunities where there's going to be a nice dark vivid green right next to a yellow petal. So that's what I'm doing here. Darkening up. A few spots so that that will really pop. All right, and then I think I'm going to do a little bit of brown in my centers. So I'm going to use, like, you could mix raw sienna and black, and it actually makes a greenish color. And when you look at a sunflower, they actually are kind of greenish in the middle. When you do this kind of thing, it creates a texture, right? So I'm getting a little bit of a texture going on there. I'm working my way up the value scale. I'm getting a little bit, just a little bit lighter. I'm going to put much lighter shades on after I built up these. I'm going to get a little bit more phthalo blue, and you know, I'm just pushing it a little bit as far as my artistic license. I'm putting little dots of blue in here to create you know, a temperature shift and some more interest. Blue is going to look really, really good next to those yellow petals that we're going to have popping in a second. So I'm just always thinking about colors that will look good next to each other. And you know, the more you paint, the more you get to know what looks good, you know. You start to understand the color wheel and color relationships. Making that look a little more gardeny down there. All right, so that's looking pretty good. I'm going to hit it with the blow dryer again. So now I think we're finally at the stage where we can start putting on some of our petals in yellow. I'm going to get rid of my chalk lines. I'm just going to use a damp brush and just lightly hit my chalk lines that I'm finding a little bit distracting. Just wipe those off. Later on, like tomorrow when this painting is really dry, I could, if that comes back, sometimes chalk, you know how it reappears, I could hit it a little bit harder after the paint has hardened and cured a little bit more. Right now, if I rub, I'm going to remove paint that I don't want to remove. All right, so I am finally able to put some yellow petals on here, and I'm going to get myself another plate, a clean plate, so you can see my color mixes. Sorry, I got to run and grab one. So I'm so excited. I'm taking a class tonight. I'm going into Evanston, Illinois, and I'm taking a class with Amanda Evanston. I'm so excited. What are you guys doing tonight? Anything? Hi, Janet. Hi. All right, so I'm going to get some yellow on here. I'm going to start with my cadmium yellow. Make sure your brush is nice and clean. And cadmium yellow. I'm going to put just a little bit of raw sienna in that. Dirty it down just a little bit. And maybe a tiny bit of my naphthol red. So again, this is going to be my darkest yellow. And what I'm noticing is I've got paint, previous color green, coming out of my ferrule and leaking down into my color, making my yellow a little more dirty than I wanted, but that's okay. I didn't take the time to clean my brush as well as I should have, I guess. So again, I want to start with darker yellows. I'm going to start with this guy here, and I'm just going to paint over all of these petals. I'm not going to worry about painting into my center. So I'm just trying to hit on top of all the yellow that I painted previously. And if I don't nail it right on the exact thing, that's perfectly fine. If I don't nail it right on the previous stroke, nothing wrong with that. All of these things make it just a little bit more interesting. You know, I want to have fun when I'm painting. I don't want it to be drudgery. I used to paint like that, and I stopped painting. When I wanted to make everything really perfect, it just wasn't fun for me anymore. I never could get anything done, and I stopped painting. You know, so you gotta loosen up. You gotta let go. Have fun with this. Again, if you need to tell yourself, like what I'm telling myself today, this is just my journal. This is like I'm sketching. It doesn't have to be a big deal, even though I'm showing you guys. You know, it's perfectly fine. This is just for you guys to learn a little bit about, you know, how to approach a sunflower. But I want you to have fun, you know, or otherwise you're just not going to do it. And if I do bring that yellow over into the center, so what? It actually looks kind of cool. Sometimes those little accidents, you make these cool discoveries. That's kind of an interesting color on there. That's probably the way it looks in nature. When you really look at a sunflower, it probably does have yellow in the center, mixed in with the brown. All right, so that's my darkest yellow, and then when I look at my models over here, around the middle, it's actually kind of orange. There are these shorter yellow-orange petals. So I'm going to get some of those in now. And I might push the envelope a little bit and make them really crazy orange. I'm using naphthol red. So instead of using orange, a lot of times orange is an ugly dark color. I actually like mixing my own orange. I like mixing red with yellow to get my own orange. I know that probably sounds silly, but it makes a better orange. Isn't that weird? So I'm going to make these shorter petals, and I'm going to try to remember to vary. Variety is the spice of life, ladies. We want to have a variety of spacing, a variety of angles, all that good stuff. Not perfectly spaced like a row of teeth. Some of these are going to need to look like they're behind other ones, so just kind of pick some out as you're going. Which ones are behind, which ones are in front. And you know, your brain is going to fill in the rest. Doesn't have to be perfect. Your brain wants to figure stuff out. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm going to hit this with the blow dryer. All right, so there's a few petals. These are in the front and they got a little bit messed up from my painting the center. So I'm gonna go clean that up with, I have to add white to cover up. White is the only thing that's really gonna cover up. So I'm mixing some white and yellow together to reestablish that petal. And then I'm just going to paint in some of these tips a little lighter. You know, I can hit it with white and I can always come back in and put yellow back on top of the white. But I can't just paint yellow over something to try and clean it up. It won't cover up. Does that make sense? All right, I am liking that. So now I'm going to pick out one. I want one to be the center of interest. Ideally, it should be this one because that's just a good position typically for a center of interest, you know, like in that area is the sweet spot. So one way to create a center of interest is with contrast. So I'm going to really use some straight black in here to really bring your eye to this as a high contrast area. So I'm putting a lot more black in that one. And then I'm going to brown up this one again, brown and black. And I love putting blue on as like a pop color. So these centers can be a lot of fun. You can even use a stencil and get a pattern going in here if you wanted to. You could scrape through this wet paint to show the previous layer. Like I could, if I wanted to be, you know, like that. I just did a cross hatching. Kind of a whimsical approach, I guess. Or scratch lines in. Maybe I like the lines better. Or even you could scratch circles in. I did one like that before where I did circles. See, can you see the circles I scratched through? Yeah, I like the circles. I'm just using the hard end of another brush. Yeah, I like the circles. You could even get like gold marker later on and come in and do dots with that. I'm going to show you another sunflower I did in a few minutes where I went really crazy with that sort of a technique. All right, so I'm going to do another coat of my vivid yellow, I think. I'm not real happy with my greens, but I don't want my greens to be too important. So I just don't want to worry about those that much. Maybe it just needs at least 1 or 2 leaves to be a little bit more better defined. Oh, I like this color. It's a little bit lighter of a green. Maybe that'll help, right? Yeah, I think that's helping. And you know, I could even paint the entire background a more of a greenish color. That would help push that green back. I might do that. I might just make this whole background like a pale green. Maybe I'll even use my my chalk paints. But I'm going to test it out over here. And like I said before at the very beginning, sometimes having a background color like that can help you out. And like I'm going to leave some of that showing so that it makes an outline. It's going to be like a weird gray outline, but let's see how that looks. It might look kind of, make a more graphic kind of statement. So I'm basically kind of just outlining around this. Are you able to see that? Real loosely. And I'm just going to paint around this whole thing. And what's nice about this is I can edit that outline. I could change things if I really want to. I can delete a petal. I can fix petals, you know what I mean? So, see how cool that is? What a quick way that is to give like a graphic look to something. And that was because I had that background painted in initially. And I'm kind of leaving this open that I might put some type in here. So I like the introduction of blue. That seems to be really working. Blue is always going to look great with yellow and orange. So a lot of times when you're painting, you do want to have a color scheme in mind. Today I didn't really have one. Just kind of dove in. I'm going to put a little green in here too. So maybe this is some really rough little image of a garden, you know, and there's going to be a little green in here. Why not? So I like what that did to the flowers. I hope you guys see what I mean by that. I'm going to go around and do the other side now. So this is called negative painting. And it really takes your painting to a whole nother level when you do this, I think. A lot of professional artists, you know, do this kind of a technique. So yeah, it's a lot looser. We don't really know for sure what is going on, and that is okay. That's what I want. You know, so this would be a fun thing to have on the door, maybe, if this were on a wood plank. It would be a really cute, you know, we could have a cute little saying on there or something. So now that I look at this, I kind of wish that I had done my underpainting in maybe a different color, maybe a warm color, red or something, you know. But that's okay. This is my journal test, so sometimes that's what you want to do. You want to do like a test run. That helped. That's kind of disguising, putting a little splash of green in. So it gives you the feeling that maybe it's a garden. All right, I might even put just a few dots of that in the center of my flower. I might regret that later. I don't know. Well, I kind of like it. This, it's making an interesting pattern, the tip of this brush. And of course I can always splatter. You know I love my splattering. That would pretty it up quite a bit too, I'm sure. So what do you think? What do you think, you guys? How's it looking? Pretty good? I can go over my, oh, that's on Instagram. I'm trying to figure out where that comment was coming from. I can go over this again, you know, like with my yellow, but I think I'm going to hit this with the blow dryer. Not bad. I mean, for a quick little painting, I actually am kind of liking it. I am. So I think I just want to do a couple more, clean up a couple more petals. Actually, maybe what I'll do, now I really want to make sure my brush is clean. I'm going to use my cool yellow now. You know, this yellow that I haven't really touched yet. And I'm just going to pick a couple petals. And I'm going to put this on a little thicker, I think. So now I really want this yellow to pop. I don't like that. All right, now I'm going to use my warm yellow, the cad yellow, putting that on kind of thick. Oh, I just dipped in the wrong yellow. Yeah, so with yellow, sometimes you really have to hit it a few times to get it to really pop. Oh yeah, I like it, I like it. And then you got to be careful of white. Too much white can kill it. But I do need some white and yellow mixed together. The cad yellow, the warm yellow. Because some of these are really, they really need to pop. So that they look like they're in front of other petals, you know what I mean? And it's funny, I got splatters on here by mistake, but I actually like the splatters. I like the splatters a lot, actually. All right, let me get that orange back in there. It's actually kind of red, but I don't think I mind that. All right, I'm just about to finish up, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to use a little bit of blue and white. For just a crazy pop of color next to some of my yellow. That might be a little too obvious, but yeah, I like that little hint of blue in there, and I think I'm going to splatter some blue. I don't know what it is with me lately. I have to have splatters. And I don't know how well this brush, oh yeah, it's okay. Sometimes I'll just use my hand to block where I don't want splatter. So yeah, it's loose and fun, and I could totally see some white lettering over here saying something, I don't know what. Give me some ideas on what it could say. I might outline my centers in just a couple spots where they just disappeared a little too much right here. Well, you know how it is. You could just keep playing with it and playing with it, right? All right, so let me show you that other one I promised you I would show you. There you go, you guys. What do you think? Let me go get this other one that I did a while ago. So this is another one I did a long time ago, actually, and I don't know if you could tell, but I used a gold metallic paint. I'm going to tilt it so hopefully that you can see the sheen. I used a gold metallic paint. Isn't that cool? And I just went kind of dot crazy. So I love how gold metallic looks with brown and dark brown, and then I even mixed some blues in here. This one's for sale, actually, for $50. If you're interested, let me know. There's another one, too. And I used a gold metallic and outlined the petals. This one's varnished, so it's kind of hard to see, probably. I'm getting all kinds of messages. So that is it, you guys. I am going to dry this, and I might think of some words that I want to put on here. If you think of something good, tell me what could I put on here. And I could totally see this on a door wreath, in the middle of a door wreath. Wouldn't that be cool, with a fall saying? Anyway, that is it, you guys. I hope you liked it. if you are interested in learning how to paint with me through my online video classes that I'm going to be filming, and I'm going to start offering them up in the very near future, just drop me a direct message with your email and I'll put you on my list so that you'll have advance notice and discounts. So just message me your email so you'll be notified when I start selling my classes. All right, you guys, have a great day, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. And oh yeah, feel free to like and share this video if you know anybody that might be interested in learning how to paint, taking a few classes. The nice thing about video classes is you can just watch them whenever you want in the comfort of your own home, paint in your PJs, all that good stuff, right? Oh, I guess you don't, I guess I may as well. Hi. So yeah, this is it. This is what I painted today. And it was a lot of fun. I hope you like it. I hope you can see it. I got to figure out what should I put over here. What words can I put? Send me some ideas. All right, guys, that's it. I am taking off. Have a great weekend. Bye.